Hello and welcome to the Dwarven Realm. Well, actually, let's start out down here, because, I mean, yeah, we are playing Kazad-Dûm, but south of Kazad-Dûm, there's a land called Rohan, and that Rohan is not doing all too well, because Captain Alerts, the Fearless, is just spreading terror around these lands. There he is. Having a lovely time with his berserkers, going berserk all over Rohan. As he does best. And we have sent a spy to investigate. It seems that King Gambling is now leading the Rohirric nation from the Hornburg. It's not exactly the ideal setup for their little fledgling nation, but nonetheless, those are the cards they are dealt. Now, a slight ray of hope is found in the field of Celebrant and the Wold, which are both held by Lorien. So, undoubtedly, they are assisting Rohan slightly in the efforts against Isengard and Mordor. It does seem to be the case. But Mordor's reach has indeed gone a bit too far. And so, for that reason and many others, we're sending navies. Navies down to, well, the lands of Athelin, the land that once was Dol Amroth. In another campaign, we have done great things with this little nation, well, or at least this fiefdom of a nation, and we shall do great things again with Dol Amroth, but in a dwarven guise. At the moment, we're still neutral to Isengard, and they may want to keep it that way, because Isengard is actually not terribly strong. They're strong, but perhaps not as strong as they would like to be. Mordor really is the bigger threat. If we can make Mordor bleed, then surely great bleeding is assured all across evil lands. So we will gather up our strength into a few navies, and we're going to send them off. Buffer is ready to pick up more troops. Gurn has plenty of troops, is sailing them down here and around, and then, yeah, Dory is of course going to be there in 3 turns. So, what is keeping us from just ending the turn 3 times? Well, a few comings and goings and dealings and things we want to do and develop, but, yeah, we're doing so pretty well. So for now, we'll go to 140 and have a look at what the future brings, because maybe the White Hand will indeed lash out against us. But if they do, that'll be their funeral, not ours. Kazad-Dûm. With another turn comes another dwarf. Bailey, age 16, which is fairly young for a dwarf. He's basically a nipper. But, is he good? Well, he's lazy. Nah, I think we'll want something better. No. Still, you'll have to find someone else. Oh, Mistrand has been overrun. By dwarves! Of course. Of course! Of course it's the dwarves. Ah. Now, we also have another army here. Heading to Cardum under the stewardship of High Lord Balin. Now, the issue here is that apparently Haldar wants us to not go there. Or at least he wants to go somewhere. And, we're sort of inclined to say, no you don't, you lad. Yeah. Because we'll need to get there. We want to go there this turn and strike while the Iron Crown is hot, if you will. Okay, then there's Erebor that expands. Well, yes, to Mistrand we saw. And Rune wanes. Oh dear. All these things are essentially the same story. Carter's Balin done. Haha, you've got a catapult to build, and you've got First Legion there, excellently outfitted. Beautiful. All these places here in Dunnet are doing so well. Broin is also feeling feisty. Gnarly is heading over for his regular armor checkup. And I think we're getting to the point where we can send these. Maybe also these, just because they're relatively good for their cost. And given how experienced they are, I think they can do a real thing, you know? And then we might just take... Which general do we want? I mean, maybe Flor is indeed the man. The man with the plan.
My king. Aye, sire.
And he would basically be able to take all of these. Of course, if we were to wait one turn, we'd get 5 more. Do we need 5 more? Basically not. Life is pretty kind to us regardless. So I say we march. It takes a while to get us to Mordor anyway. So, all of you, and then we deselect that one, and that one, and that one, and that one, and this. And then we take Flor. Come, my friends, we're going on a trip. Because then we'll join up with these 3. That'll be 14. And those.
Aye, sire. Joining the fleet ready. Aye, my liege. Aye, captain.
Bum ba bum bum. Any beauties around here? Yeah, you know what? We'll take this catapult.
Aye. Forward.
That'll be lovely. We can build another one on Angren. It'll be ready in 12 turns. And with a little luck, it won't see any action until then. So that's nice. A decent plan has emerged. Now, Kazad-Dûm, what can you train? You can train those, and oh yes, some archers as well. We do like archers, even though our archers definitely are not the best in the game. By even the longest of long dwarven shots, I think archers are still good enough overall to where they are useful, and their melee attack that can pierce even heavy armor and all those things. I mean, that is pretty practical up close. So they're handy in a tight spot regardless.
Aye.
Gimli,
March.
up to Gundagrand you go,
Limit.
because Sons of the Fallen can be retrained there, and that is, well, very attractive from where I'm sitting. Onadanar. Here is, well, it's remarkably peaceful in these lands now. Though of course, we may at some point face some disquiet between our main allies, the Woodland Realm, Dale, and Erebor. For it seems that they are not as tight-knit as once they were. Oh bugger. But life goes on. Life goes ever on. Come Dory. This way. And do we go... We could go for Dol Amroth. Or we go for Theland. We'll grab a Theland. I think that'll be nice. But of course Dol Amroth would be a good shout as well, especially if we can sort of just auto-resolve ourselves into it very quickly and easily. I cannot sail further today. Okay, I'll forgive you for that one, dear Dory. Nori, I want you to take a look at these lands here. Dwarf is kept. Balorn is tightly held by Isengard. They are fending it off against some Gondorian raids. Not that this needs worry us a lot.
Fleet ready. Aye, sire.
And Drast is still held by Gondor, and that is basically the most important thing. As long as they hold that, we can tell that Gondor is doing okay against Isengard. But the real action of this turn is up here. Captain Haldar. I'm sorry, you're just under attack. Alright, and then can we get to that? Yes, we can. Overlord Agandaur, Lieutenant of Mordor. Yeah, you're about to be attacked. I'm sorry. Kazad-Dûm is not going to save you. High Lord Balin has arrived.
The time's come, lads. To battle!
And with our battle today, I can reveal that white as snow is the tea that we are drinking. Yes, indeed. We are drinking a pure white tea from a lovely, lovely spot in Copenhagen called Perks. Anyway, that is our joy for today. This whole castle has a lot of towers, but most of them do not shoot. But these do. These do not. These inner ones. And I don't think these ones do either. So, just basically need to get inside the walls. And hopefully our catapults can do wonders there. Then we have the First Legion, who have quite a lot of pikes to spare. And I mean, look at all these glorious, glorious people. So, the Iron Crown has relinquished the field to us. Despite our spy, we have not penetrated or successfully infiltrated the settlement. But you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go smacky, 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 smacky. Because we just don't want those towers to be of any use to the enemy today. And our catapults should be able to deal with them quite nicely. Almost as nicely as the Rings of Power seems to have been dealt with, because of course rumours are swirling now that the season is going to get cancelled. Or at least that the third one is, right? Not the second one, obviously. Because that's basically all but published. It will serve no purpose. But it is quite likely that we won't be seeing a season 3. And at this point, yeah, I don't think there's much goodwill left for that whole show. I'll say my patience is definitely beginning to wear a bit thin. And it wasn't particularly strong to begin with. Oh, what's this? Are they gonna come out like good little boys and orcs? Anyway, the latest in the line of many injustices to the source material was... Oh dear. Where to start? Well, let's start with Gandalf and his little magic buddying up with Bombadil, which is in itself not necessarily the worst idea, and I'm open to Bombadil having lived in many places in Middle-earth over his thousands of years of existence. Well, his nearly incomparably long existence. And no, the biggest problem is that it is apparently being set up that Gandalf's talent for wielding fire magic is going to be set up as for coming from Tom Bombadil. I have problems with this. Many, many problems. The most egregious of which being that, I mean, okay, Tom Bombadil wielding whatever magic power, fair enough. He is essentially an ancient being that is hardly definable by any particular strand of magic, although it is pretty apparent that he does have some talents that few other entities in Middle-earth possesses. Now, the biggest problem with it, of course, is where is it that Gandalf actually gets these magic powers from? Well, he gets it from his ring, first and foremost, and he gets that from Círdan originally when he just arrives in Círdan's harbour, and Círdan sees, oh goodness, here's a lad of great importance, right? Yeah, we better help him, because he's going to do some great things, we think. And then he gives him his ring, Narya, the Ring of Fire, as it turns out. I wonder if that is at all relevant for the proceedings. It should be, right? Right? The fire ring being relevant to that. But at the time of writing in the show, the Ring of Fire is still very much held in Círdan's hands. So, it feels like that there's a circle about to be squared. Or maybe not. I mean, we will probably not see the intended moment where Gandalf gets his ring from Círdan, if that was ever their plan, and if it wasn't, then, I mean, I have very, very pertinent questions as to that decision-making. Goodness gracious. It's just so weird. It's just a bit strange. Yeah, let's stop using ammunition here and just get in with our pikes and do lovely things. And so we end up in a situation where the things that could explain Gandalf's powers are not allowed to explain his magic powers, because apparently they wanted him to learn it Obi-Wan style from Tom Bombadil. So they're basically turning Tom Bombadil into a Jedi Master of sorts, which is also a little annoying, to be fair. It's like everything, they're trying to hero story everything. It's like, yeah, it's a bit infuriating. So now Gandalf is going on his hero's journey, while Nori is going on her hero's journey, and Isildur is going on his hero's journey, and everybody has their father figure, and everybody needs to go somewhere. Oh yeah, and then there are the desert hobbits who will apparently become the Shire hobbits, and I have no words for it. Literally, I mean, I just don't know what to say. It is baffling decision making.
They have lost half their men.
Okay, let's focus on this for a bit, just to ease me out, mellow my nerves a bit. Look at all the glorious pikes here. We have lost maybe 15 dwarves, 17 maybe, and we have killed over half their army. So things are going pretty well. We are poking away, poking, and even the temple wards are beginning to feel the poke. But they will resist us with some force. Yeah, we can see that, you know, as soon as the temple wards get going, they bite, and they bite hard. But they are not the first legion. And speaking of that, you know, there's some orcs over there, so what do you say, Kazad-Dûm Guardians? Are you ready? I hope you are. Run up and make yourselves at home. Oh my god. Yeah, well done. Balin, you know what? If you can... Okay, you can't really because you're not close enough. So, now we are going to mash our dear guardians through the ranks.
Lies dead.
Haha! Arondir goes down.
Attack while his men mourn their loss.
Yeah, they don't mourn it for long, I think, because they're soon dead as well. Okay, so speaking of dead, my faith in Amazon. Yes. So what else do we have? Well, oh yes. Of course. Let's stay on the topic of rings, shall we? it being apparently, you know, it's not the Rings of Power. It is Lord of the Rings of Power. So it's a pretty silly title if you look at it in isolation. Yeah, we'll just look through these stats and then I'll give you the rundown on why their take on the rings is just bloody ridiculous. So, a few casualties caused by the catapults, as they do best, and the First Legion has basically massacred its way all through the ranks of the enemy. Very, very well done, everybody. Very well done. It's pretty. And it's beautiful. Kazad-Dûm is ours. So, coming back, we will occupy Kazad-Dûm and discuss why the Rings of Power have the utmost horrendous take on the Rings of Power from a, well, what the show is actually called, from a perspective of Tolkien's writings. Because let us remind ourselves, what are the Rings of Power? Well, they are rings originally given out to various peoples and individuals in order to, in the ideal world, affect positive change, to allow them to allow great kingdoms to be built and flourish in Middle-earth, so that Mordor could not possibly rise again. It is essentially like a hedging mechanism of sorts. And the idea then is that that an enemy such as Sauron comes along and figures out a way to take these Rings of Power and make nasty things happen through them, because he's able to essentially, he's good at tricking people, and he is able, and he uses that heft of his, this ability that he has, to try and control people's actions. That's what he's all about. He's also a brute force kind of guy, but most of the time he is actually a bit of a personal trickery kind of guy, and we sort of see hints of this in Rings of Power. So, you know, it's yeah, it's such a small part of the show overall, with all the various storylines that they've just crammed in there for the good measure and bad measure, that it sort of dilutes its impact. It's no longer a story about Sauron and the Rings of Power. It's a story about that and about Tomby Wombanobi. It's, you know, yeah, it's yeah, it's a bit weird. But anyway, I guess the idea was that from Amazon's perspective, that they wanted to make this these rings sinister, and they wanted to be inspired. They wanted to make callbacks to Lord of the Rings and how the rings seem, or the Ring of Power, seem to control people in those films. Okay, but the Rings of Power are generally speaking not that. Oh, there are some troops in here. We'll just briefly discuss them. Oh, there's nothing worth discussing. Okay, well, we have total superiority. We'll just slaughter them. Anyway, Oin the Annihilator has come. Now, let's talk about those rings, because they are magic rings. But in Tolkien's vision, of course, they are an example of how power in itself corrupts. Now, in the Amazon show, not only do these rings seem to bestow upon the wearer is the proper English, bestow upon the wearer great power, and through this power they enact changes and become meaningful and important and yada yada yada, and it is the power that ends up corrupting a lot of these individuals and make them turn inward and so on and so forth. The actual evil magic corruption sort of thing that the One Ring has got going on Frodo, most notably, and also, you know, other peripheral characters, is pretty unique to that ring, and it is an example of Sauron imbuing his will to dominate others into his one master ring, and that is in many ways what makes it special. That it is a ring that enables him to channel his will through the world of Middle-earth and dominate other beings, which is also why, when the ring is destroyed, he loses control of the Nazgul, he loses control of the orcs, he loses even his ability to hold together his non-corporeal form, and he basically disappears into the ether. That's what makes his ring so special, is that it imbues it allows his will to travel through the material world of Middle-earth and control events.
The enemy are bringing in reinforcements.
Specifically, when the Rings of Power are concerned, it allows him to influence those rings. He has particular success with influencing the men that went on to wear the rings, which is how he ends up essentially crafting the Nazgul in his own image of malice and deceit. Now, it is not the Rings of Power themselves that turn men into Nazgul. And Amazon seems to have completely dropped the ball on this. And I am sure that as the seasons were to progress, if they ever were to, they would be dropping the ball even harder, and essentially as soon as you put the ring on your finger, they will become Nazgulish. Because essentially what happens is that as soon as the dwarves start putting on their rings, apparently they start quoting Gollum, which is a bit infuriating. I really disliked that with some venom, because the implication with that is that you know, and the rings themselves even started whispering. That was the final straw for me, when the Rings of Power start whispering to the dwarves in the way that the Master Ring does in the films, which in the films is a bit of an imposition upon the lore as well, given that you know, in the book it alludes to the Rings' power a lot more indirectly. And the film, of course, needed to make it a bit more concrete, so it sort of invents this idea that the rings basically speak, or that the Master Ring speaks. But you know, you never see the Nazgul's rings speak in the film. You know, Peter Jackson was basically on board with Tolkien in that respect, that the other Rings of Power were basically influenced by the One Ring, and it's the One Ring that has a certain will of its own, as Galadriel puts it. Now, okay. So what are we to make of it when suddenly the rings of the dwarves start speaking, you know, in that little, essentially the tongue of Mordor, which also makes very little sense, because apparently, because Mordor has basically existed for a week in this series. It's all a bit weird and jumbled and strange and nonsensical. The most infuriating thing about it is, in Tolkien's vision, it goes throughout his writing so often that it is not necessarily, you know, that there is not really something that is destined to be good or evil. It's more a sense that, you know, you don't necessarily have good magic powers and bad magic powers. You know, good magic powers that are like good force powers in a video game, and bad powers that are like force lightning from Darth Sidious or something that corrupt you. No, it is the ability to change the world outside your own body, so to speak, that really can become, you know, a corrupting influence upon you on a personal level, which is basically how power works in the real world, isn't it? You know, politicians don't necessarily start out their careers with the desire to just use power for, you know, obtain power for its own sake, but at the end of the day, they end up with very little that distinguishes their power from the power that, you know, was for its own sake. And so, power corrupts, you know, Absolute power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Doesn't matter if there's good intentions or not. It's always dangerous to be flirting with power. And Tolkien understood this very, very well, and he imbued that into his story. And of course, the One Ring is a magical example of this, but it's basically the only one ring. That's the only ring that really has the power to actively corrupt its wearer. Whereas the other rings, they would corrupt their wearers because having power to change the world is attractive. Having power to affect change in the lives of people that mean something to you is deeply attractive. And it's hard on a very human level to let that go. If you go, you know, that's also why there was this whole kerfuffle, you know, Joe Biden resigning, you know, stepping away from power. People are saying, you know, that is a great act of relinquishment. And Tolkien would agree because he is actively stepping away from power in a situation where the world essentially called upon him to do so, to pass on his high office to new generations. And he decided at the end of it all that was the better call to make. So he did it. And that echoes again, you know, you know, think back to the Peter Jackson films as well. I'm sure you have this line in your head, right? I can conjure it up for you. When Ian McKellen as Gandalf says, "No, don't tempt me, Frodo." Even just putting the ring in his hand would be too much of a temptation. So he says, "No, don't tempt me, Frodo. I would use the ring with a desire to do good, but through me it would wield a power too great to imagine." And that's really the crux of it. And you know, even with good intentions, it's the one ring that would actively corrupt people, but the other rings would basically corrupt passively, in a sense, unless provoked by Sauron, which of course most of those people were. You know, it's just so maddening to see those discrepancies, not just in lore and which characters are where and why do people do that and thus. Okay, fair enough. But what really grinds my gears is when the showrunners just seem to have little regard for some of the core tenets of Tolkien's writings. You know, the philosophical underpinnings of Tolkien's work. Because Peter Jackson, for all his deviations, you could sense that they understood the philosophical underpinnings of Tolkien's work to a great extent, and they worked within that framework to produce films that could both entertain as Hollywood spectacle and enrich your life as this as the original literature of Middle-earth has done to many people for decades.
All of the victory we have won here today.
Nearly a century now. So I am gradually coming to the conclusion that the sooner Amazon relinquishes its hold over the franchise, the better. Hello, Angmar. Oh, goodbye to Angmar's prisoners. Hello, Captain Hardgast. Goodbye, Captain Hardgast. Which troops did we lose? Yeah, we lost some standard Legion troops. And one Guardian, 2 Reclaimers, but we healed one of the Reclaimers. Hooray! Hurrah! Huzzah!
Glory and honor.
More Claw in our hands.
noble victory.
Okay. Do we have all the necessary construction buildings? Yes, we have an amazing guild house left over from the Dunedain of all people. How nice to know that they've been here. Can we recruit a spy? We can recruit a spy. Hooray! I spy with my little eye an opportunity. Oh, and I also spot a few things that can be demolished over here. Mount Graham Stables, goodbye. Orc Pit, fare thee well. Army Barracks? Yeah, I'm fine with that. Sons of the Fallen and First Legion. Beautiful. And, Barat-Aleg. Yeah, okay. We don't get the unique units that Erdogan do in here. But that's okay. We can live without them. Rangers Guild? Ah, no. We don't need that. What else? Mount Graham Stables? We certainly don't need that. Hillman Barracks? No. I suppose there's also one here. Yeah, Hillman Barracks. Goodbye. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Wallace, go away. The Annihilator has struck once more. So tell me, out there, if you're still watching this diatribe. Yeah. What do you think about the whole Rings of Power situation? I mean, just let me know. You know, maybe you're cued into some specific wheelings and dealings about it. Maybe you have an idea of where the series is going to go.
Aye, sire.
Either way, what are we going to do? Well, I'll tell you. We are going to send some lovely troops in the general direction of, well, Kazad-Dûm.
My king.
Most notably, we might actually scurry together a few troops from here. Oh, we can build a Hall of Outlay here. We should do that pretty quickly. Armorer. Okay. But yeah, here we already have the Hall of Outlay and we're training people already. So next turn, Bohor could probably leave and gather together all the forces needed for a lovely, lovely time. So we're going to put those over there. And Onazanar, hello Babor. Yeah, you're still building your brewery. So recent was the settlement's fall. We haven't developed it at all. Cool. Okay. We have some more navies moving. Don't we? No, we have that next turn. Good. Floor moving next turn. Life is good. Life is good. Another turn then. Zund the Fearless is drudging about the place. No doubt curious to test the defenses we have put up in various places. Let them come. There's still one dwarf in Dunland who still draws breath. It is me. Dorwinian's leader is dead. Oh no. Ah, okay. He still tries again with a slightly older guy. Bomber this time. This guy is generally loyal. He's reserved. He understands logistics. Interesting. Reserved lends to public order. Doesn't let his emotions show, making at least appear calm in crisis. Okay, okay, there's that. Okay, that's good. Has a few scars to prove. He's been in proper battle, where his life was clearly at risk. Okay, I think I like him. I like him. Ah, I need some Femsburg. You know what? That is actually pretty fortunate. Oh, the Earth-Eared Horsemen can be retrained now. Good. I will have them. And then we will march. Cancellation lost. Oh, yes, yes. Sorry about that. And Balin's guard gets retrained again and again.
Come and get me. I respect you, my enemy.
Litash is to be taken. Well. Say no more. Flamsburg is basically grinning at the opportunity to do so. Maybe it should even be Bomber who leaves. Or maybe Boffor should be the guy. He's not retrainable here.
My king.
Anyway.
My king. Aye, lord. Aye, lord.
So if we take all these and those
Aye.
and this and this and
Aye,
this.
sire. My king.
This has the makings of a pretty potent force.
Aye, my liege. Marching now.
And we can also bring
sire.
these.
Aye.
Kaboom boom boom, he says.
Combining
To Litash we go.
the men with honor, sire.
We don't need the cavalry for
Aye,
this
sire.
because it's
My king.
a settlement kind of mission.
My king.
Drohar. Welcome to Norwell Lore. And the mission? Make more dwarves. I don't know how spies make more dwarves happen, but apparently you've got a talent. And it is a talent we will nurture.
Aye, lord. My king. Aye, lord. Aye.
And then we
My
take
king.
all these First Legion
Lord.
troops.
Aye, sire.
And we're gonna get these lads retrained.
Onward. We've marched our limit.
To Gundabad you go.
We march no further today.
And
Aye.
you know what, maybe there are others
Aye,
we also
Lord.
want to send that way, but actually no.
Aye.
No, the others haven't really lost anything.
My king. Aye, lord.
But we will send some troops.
My king.
Like these. Through the pass.
March. I can't lead the troops there.
No,
sire.
not through Litash.
Onward.
Around the
We've
mountains
marched
to the
our
north.
limit.
Please. It'll be a bit longer. It'll be a bit more challenging and
Aye, Lord.
tiresome, but I think you can pull through. I believe in you. Lond Angren. Ooh, you can get the highest tier of barracks, which will be very nice. You know what? Let's build the feast hall. That should reduce the price of all buildings, and then we'll get back to everything else. Put the board. So many pubs. So little time. And Isengard does not attack us.
Is that what you want?
Alright then.
Aye,
Floor.
my liege.
Go to buffer.
Fleet ready. Aye.
I think we can
Aye,
take all
king.
these guys actually.
March.
Boom, 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 boom. And then we can get some people from here.
Aye, sire. Aye, lord.
One of each.
Forward.
That looks about right. We have some
Aye.
archers, we have some
Aye,
light
king.
folks, we have some heavy folks.
sire.
We have some super
Aye.
heavies. Yeah, life is good.
Aye.
No, we just need them to move. Which will come later.
Aye, heading ashore, my lord. Aye. Aye, noble sire. Aye, Captain. Dropping anchor to the bottom, sire.
Good, good. Are we trading from Cancellation? No, we're not. No. We just have immensely high incomes from mining and taxes. Because there are a lot of people here already. 31,000. Quite a bit. Quite a bit. More catapults? Well, that certainly makes me happy.
Aye, sire. My king.
Before. We don't really want you to leave Goblin Town, but if you were to leave for any place, then more of a Tarth might be interesting. We're getting some more beast hunters. Those are, of course, very welcome.
My king. Aye, sire. Aye.
Let's grab
My king.
all that can be grabbed.
Move
Throw them
out.
over there. Get retraining for everybody. And Dane's Halls. Yeah, we're still converting a bit. But we're doing so with joy. And Erebor, not quite ready for prime time yet, but you will be. You will be. Gimli though, you are the conqueror of the place, and you're an urban protector, inspirationally brave, all sorts of lovely things you are. You're conscientious trainer, liberator of Dane's Halls, you despise orcs. Okay. I think as soon as we can train some low-level troops in Erebor, we'll actually just leave it behind a bit. Let's see. If we take Gimli out, how bad does it get? Okay, he does double the income of the settlement on his own. But if we can build a great miners' hall as well, and maybe a militia garrison, then it should help quite a bit. Just to have an idea of it. Yeah, it'll help us by quite a lot. Almost 500 when put together.
Fleet ready.
Nori. Hello. Going to Balin.
Yes, sir.
Yay, his skill improves. I like it when that happens. Speaking of spies, we have some already here in Ethelland. Or Ethelland.
They shall not see me, sire. They won't.
Oh, guarded by great beasts. Interesting.
Aye, Captain. Aye, Captain.
That would certainly be a fascinating little fight.
Dropping anchor until the morrow, sire.
Something to investigate.
Ethering will want to take this place, but we're already in. And the Gondorians are,
Speak to our dignitaries.
well, they're actually having some success around here. They're managing to keep the fight on Mordor's sort of soil, or at least their side of the border.
Is that what you want?
So,
Is that what
I don't think it'll last though. That's a lot of orcs. And orcs tend to do okay in auto-resolves because auto-resolves like numbers,
At your service.
which orcs have in abundance.
Quiet as a mouse now.
Yes, quiet as a mouse now.
Fleet ready.
But if we can smack up Dol Amroth and bring in a spy or two, then we're already doing pretty well, I would say.
Moving quietly. They shall not see me, sire. Something to investigate.
You're on. Of course, sir. Good
We could try to purchase settlements,
His journey
naturally.
is over, sire.
I wonder how that would go. If we would just show up and say, "Hi, I want to buy Ethering." We certainly have the money for it. Might as well try.
Aye, my lord. Aye, sir. It's good to
Why do I have that arrow there? I don't know. But, we're gonna try some things.
I accept this offer.
Thank you.
Pleasure,
Okay.
Lord Sire.
Another turn. Ooh, hello, Frar. Yeah. We'll have a Frar.
Aye.
Okay. Woodland Realm on Dale. It has happened, everybody. Who do we stand by? The Woodland Realm or Dale? I'm going to defer my decision. Let's just have a quick look at the political position of them. So, currently, Woodland Realm, allied with Dorwinian, who are fighting against Mordor, who are fighting against Erebor, Dale, okay. Ah. Dale against both Dorwinian and the Woodland Realm. Allied to Erebor. You know, I would rather be allied to Erebor than Dale. None of them seem to be particularly good friends with the Anduin Vale. We're their only allies. They also have no enemies, though. We must side. We must side with someone. I am going to side with the Woodland Realm. We'll see how that works out. Now we can still keep our alliance with Kazad-Dûm. No, sorry, with the dwarves of Erebor. Though they may just see a chance for taking back control of the land that they so desire. If they do so, then they will find Gimli more than ready and able to defend it. But we will side with the Woodland Realm. I'm sure that they will do quite well. Have they attacked the right at their heart? No, they haven't really. No, but they must have done some battle here. Interesting. Merchant bank at Goblin Drown leads to a very economically minded town. And here we'll build a bunch of breweries. Dûm. You guys, we're gonna need a pub. Quite simply. The quicker we can convert this place, the better.
Aye.
Beaufort takes off.
War spotted, Captain. Aye, Captain. My king.
Gordon
Warding now. War spotted, Captain.
takes off as well.
As far as we'll get to Dale. Fleet
And
ready.
Dory arrives in
Seeking
Dol
another
Amroth.
shot. Aye. War spotted, Captain. Cannot sail further today.
Oh, Zun is back. Back to find that there's nothing to be left behind.
Onward.
Alright, let's go on a little bit of a training round in these parts. Not much to report though. Catapult here. The First Legion there. Bombard getting something decent to wear.
My king. Aye. Forward. Aye. Move out.
It'll be nice when they meet.
No further today.
Cross paths with each other.
Today,
Sharing a cup of tea in the coldness
Aye, sire.
up there.
Cannot go there.
Nah, I guess they might not share tea.
Sire.
But still. High Lord Balin has his fresh new armor. 22 armor stat. That is insanely high. Let's just keep a watch over the territory. We won't be taking any chances today.
Be gone.
Though perhaps we can take a chance here. Yeah. Okay.
We march to battle. Glory and honor. Come and get by your
Goodbye, sir. You have been annihilated.
My king. Aye, noble sire. Setting a vigilant watch here. Aye, sire.
No mercenaries though. Would be neat to get maybe another cavalry unit or something, but I'm not sure what cavalry mercenaries we would get in those lands. I think the best ones we can get are the Airthird. Oh well. Speaking of mercenaries though, we can get more longships here. But what we can also do is declare war on Mordor. Let's ask them if they're interested. So, here's the deal, Mordor. You can sell Dol Amroth. There it is. To me. For what should we say? 35,000? It is a pretty wealthy settlement after all.
Never. Your
Oh.
proposal implies we are first.
Well then, just to show you that I mean business, here we go.
Leading the men with honor, sire.
Hello, Zogdush.
We shall hold them to siege, sire.
Oh yes, hold them to siege, and then some. Orn, it's time.
The time's come, lads. To battle.
Today's battle will be a relatively methodical one, so I might as well complain about the Rings of Power some more. It's the kind of battle where we will want to shoot the beasts more than anything. And hopefully we can do so rather efficiently. Yeah, we don't have them sitting anywhere near here. Ah, but they have 2 sets of gates. Okay. We'll have to see what we can do about that. First of all, though, we need to get a bit closer. And we need to beat down the gate. That's number 1. Now, so, what is it I want to complain about now? I want to talk about Arondir's little orc map. Because it is just maddening. I mean, he was in one scene in the entire show. It was the very first one. And what does Arondir do? This elf, so to speak. This dark elf. So, if he can be so named. Well, he fights a couple of orcs, and the result of which is he finds a map in their sleeve.
The gates are down.
Now, what's wrong with finding a map in someone's sleeve, you ask? Are you now anti-map? Well, I'm certainly anti the way in which they found that map. Because he seemed to know perfectly well to look for a map in their sleeve, which is a bit weird. It's not the first place I would start looking if I were looking for a map or an indication of where people came from. I mean, the sleeve is not really obvious, is it? So either it's just now established that orcs always have, you know, part of their standard uniform is a sleeve pocket with a map in it. A poorly hand-drawn map that sort of weirdly suggests the place to go for orcs that are not you, unless they got lost. The implication is, you know, I mean, as far as we know, Arondir is in the general Gondor, Mordor type region. We're not quite sure where, but anyway, but there seem to be some wild men around, so maybe he is sort of at the let's just say he's sort of west of Mordor, not too far away from the Anduin. Okay, let's say he's there. The geography is never established at all, which is infuriating on its own. But even more infuriatingly, of course, yeah, it doesn't feel like Amazon themselves are very much aware, or the production team are very much aware of how they want the geography of this place to pan out. But, okay, so he comes across some orcs, he finds the map, and then, yeah, he finds this map, and apparently this map is just, given to all orcs.
After them, cut the cowards down.
I mean, are we to assume that? Or, you know, how many of these orcs actually have maps?
All of the victory we have won here today.
Right? I mean, maps are not trivial things in a pre-internet age. I mean, you know, even in a pre-industrial age, finding maps of things is pretty darned rare because not everybody has the talent to actually make a map. Map making was a bloody profession. So the implication here is that Adar, he went out into his camps, right? He went out into his camps, and they basically live in camps. We've seen this already. Little mud huts and tents, things that are quickly built for an army on the move, essentially. And and he contracts his finest orc map makers to make little slips of leather or hemp or whatever with map on them, or linen, I guess. Unclear as it is where they get those materials. And he says, yeah, I want maps that can basically communicate to all of our orcs that we are going to Eregion now. Okay. And the question is, okay, should we just give that to the orcs that are actually leaving for Eregion? No. Let's also give them for the orcs that are not going to Eregion for some weird purpose, because I just have the feeling that an important plot point requires a character outside of our forces to find a map, and of course they won't. I mean, unless we are going with the fate that these orcs get lost or something. He's also given these maps out to the orcs that are not going to the place the map depicts. So how many bloody maps of these did Adar commission? It is it is a dire. I mean, just trying to think logically about how these things have come about in the logic of the show is maddening. And that's not what you want to be thinking about when you're watching something that's supposed to be, you know, entertaining. It's a bloody travesty, I tell you. There's just no version of it where it makes any bloody sense at all. Adar's bloody map. I mean, goodness gracious. Can somebody make a meme about Adar's bloody map? Please, I want to see it. Send it to my email or something. I don't know. We should set up a Discord server. And then I just want an entire channel on that Discord server to be Adar's bloody map. And it'll just be nothing but people trying to make sense of Adar's bloody maps.
Aye, Captain.
And I do think there was some blood on it in the image as well. So it is literally Adar's bloody map. Yeah. I mean, overall, I think if you wanted orcs involved in this story... Sorry. Yeah, if you want to involve orcs at this point in Middle-earth history, then having sort of an elf with some sway, some political leadership over the orcs is a decent way to go about it. I think that's an interesting take. So I kind of like this character of Adar. I think he is bloody wasted because we see so little of him. He is a potentially interesting character who needs to be boiled down to the most basic of brass tacks in order to fit inside the screen time he's given. But so basically all we get of him is him capturing a couple of main characters every now and then just attacking Eregion. And I'm just hoping we get to see him do more than that, and it doesn't just end with him being killed by Sauron in Eregion, which I am sure is the plan, and that would be very disappointing, because the way they've written Sauron, Adar is actually more interesting. And that's such a travesty, because Sauron is not just a one-dimensional villain. He's got layers to him, or at least he can. Though there aren't that many of them present in the show as it currently exists, which is a little saddening. I mean, there weren't that many layers to him in the Peter Jackson film either, so maybe that's just how it all came about, right? I mean, they seem to be blithingly ignorant of the whole, well, literature of the world that they are working with, and they seem to take every single creative decision as an offshoot of the Peter Jackson films, their success, and the things that people know them for. It is infuriating, but it is what it is. But even then, they should at least also have taken a little bit on board from how they tackled the source material. But since they didn't, here we are, with a 5-season show that gets canned after 2. It's not a good look. Well, here's a notification you don't see very often in the game. Mistran retaken. Usually when the capital of Rune is lost, then they don't take it back. But this time, they have. Good on them, I guess. Yeah. 9 gets upgraded. Balin gets wealthy. Well, as wealthy as it is liable to be, I guess.
Aye, Lord. My king.
Daram, you know, he's a decent guy, this fella. I think he needs another shot at glory, doesn't he? What kind of retinue does he have? He's got some renowned things. Sculptor. An exceptional counselor. Huh. Dwarven shield. Smith. Sage engineer. Captain of the guard. Dwarven lords used to hire, I suppose. Skillful and strong fighters whose main task is to protect them from the strokes of their foes. This dwarf has been appointed as captain of his lord's personal guard, as he has proved his quality in many times, or in many battles. One or the other. Okay.
Aye, sire. Aye.
I'm gonna grab Daram. And we're gonna send him through Oinlarach. We're done. You know what? I think you should go to Balin instead. The usefulness of him in Oinlarak is pretty limited, I'd say. But we will definitely have good use
Aye, sire.
of
Aye,
him
Lord.
in Tharbali.
March!
Particularly with the
Aye, sire.
absence
Move out!
of
We
Dalam.
march no further today. Aye.
And life just keeps
Aye, sire.
going on as it always has done. Let's get some Deeping Guard in here at Balin then. What else? Rui. Yeah, okay. At aboard. Still on low levels of recruitment, but we're getting the feast hall now, and that is when things shall start turbocharging. Good. Okay, what else are we building? Archery range. Good. Dunert, getting all the roads. Oh, let's get the feast hall and then we start building the other things. That'll be good. Oh yes! Dragon Slayers! The one place in our realm where we can get them actually. Maybe we can also get them in Onazanar. But, let's see. Yes, we can. That is a very, very nice prospect. So, pub, feast hall, army barracks, ka-tum tum tum boom. Yes, very happy. We're very happy there. And then we'll go pick farm and get the armorers going. Yeah. Bree is destroyed. Oh dear. We were too late to save the Breelanders. Hopefully a few hobbits are still making a life of their own in various little hamlets and villages. We owe them as much.
Aye, Lord.
To just try
Aye,
and
King.
salvage their existence. Yes, yes, we will. Balin has a soft spot for them, after all.
My king.
So, Dol Amroth stands uncontested.
Aye, my liege.
Very nice, very nice. We'll still stay there just a little bit of a while. We have a spy, and
Aye, sire.
hello.
Ready.
We have a spy there.
Dropping anchor until the morrow, sire.
We could just go for Metrast. That will be a nice low-hanging fruit, actually. But we also have a pretty clear path to Tarnost. And from there, Ethring. You know, if we can take Tarnost, then we have effectively cut off our enemy from reaching Gondor. And they'll have to put a lot more force into defending against attacks from the Morthland Vale. And that appeals to me, I have to say. It does. Just out of curiosity, how much would they like to give us for peace?
Aye, my king.
Hello, Ishmuth.
Trustworthy folk.
So,
What
very
line
generous.
will you bring us
Okay, now we're talking. So, what do you say you give me... ethering, yeah, ethering. Yeah, it has a nice ring to it. And then trade rights, and I will even throw in... 30,000, yes. What do you say?
No.
Oh, they want more.
Such a thing.
But they like the idea. Okay. You know what? Okay. This is a bit higher than before. But I'll give you 45,000.
I must inform you.
Oh.
We cannot agree to this.
48,000 would be balanced. I assume they would agree to that. So now we know.
Problem. We were most generous.
Most generous, you say? Ah, but you don't know the meaning of the word. Servant of the Great Eye. So called because you just think, I. You know, you're so self-centered. Yeah, but Admiral Gordon will be here in a minute.
My king.
And then Groin. We'll just go for Tarnost. No problem. Could this army actually leave the Amroth?
Marching now.
Okay, 60. That's not too bad actually.
Aye.
70.
Aye.
Ah, I see potential. Oh yeah.
Honor, my lord.
Okay, we do have potential. Okay. So we could strike at Medrast and Tarnost simultaneously. I like the sound of that.
Fleet ready. Dropping anchor until the Mordor side.
I don't think we have any mercenaries we can hire around here. We're pretty racially segregated in that department. We can only get another ship, which isn't really very useful because we don't need to defend against much. Mordor doesn't get any ships either.
Aye. Aye, sire.
Aye, sire.
Dropping anchor until the Mordor side.
Okie dokie. So far, so grand.
Aye, lord.
Hello,
Aye.
hello.
Move out. We've marched our limit.
And then Bohor. Going for Litash.
We march no further.
And most happily so.
By your will, sire, we shall engage.
Ranulf.
Aye, sire.
Yeah. Shall we finish this off with Ranulf getting Ranulf over? With his 4 measly command stars. Well, we also have 4. But our 4 command stars are better. They are dwarven stars.
Attack.
Here we are, life is very fun. We have one goal, it's to keep them on the run. Form up lines and do not break them. Life is too short for that. We could even decide to all come in through this particular one. Nah, but this is much nicer. Okay. So, yeah, smash tower, please. Yep. Load up your lovely little weapons. And smackarooda those towers in short order, please. I mean, it's really in your self-interest because you are in range of them. And so are your friends. Okie dokie. Oh, the Witch Knights are here. Hello, Ranulf. Do you know what I'm gonna do with Witch Knights? Yeah, this. Ho ho ho. Okay. Want another one?
Good tidings. The enemy general lies dead. We have set
Another round, please. This is way too good. Okay, they're sort of managing to clear our little hurdle. Ow, 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 ow. And here come the shield guard. Yeah, they will reach that one catapult, that's for sure, but we have absolutely maimed a lot of them. Oh my lord, it's not looking good.
The battle is very much in
For
our
them,
favor.
that is.
If we remain true and steadfast,
okay. Catapult
victory
tree.
will be ours.
So take your positions and no. Ah! That's a bit okay. Yeah. Crown warriors. Yeah, okay. Alright, at this point we just save our ammunition, I guess. We shoot the witch knights a little bit and you know what, reclaimers, come over here. You're so very handy. Zenith Guard, run over into the Westron defenders. It'll be a fun time. So, let's see whose spearmen are better. Sorry, let's see how our spearmen are better. There, I fixed it. Oh, the witch knights are just running about now. Okay, there are some, what are those? Western defenders, okay. First Legion coming through. Yes, we sure do like keeping it stiff now, don't we? No innuendos here, people. No innuendos. First Legion, march! 30% of our enemies are dead. That means they actually still have quite a few. So we'll bring in our catapults and have them do what they do best. Oh yes, we might actually need to break down the gate. Because we haven't done that yet. So catapults, do your thing.
The gates
There
are
we go.
down. The gates are down.
Oh, hello there. You're about to meet the finest pike unit in the entirety of
We have
Middle-earth.
captured the enemy's walls.
Okay, they shoot us a bit. Don't let that get you down, my friends. Don't let that bring you down.
Our men are winning the battle.
So,
If
they
we
have some
continue like this,
longbowmen
we
out
will
there.
Smash the enemy.
Quite a lot of them. Okay. Well, let's at least give them the courtesy of shooting back. And reclaimers, just come around here. Alright then. Well, make yourselves useful.
The enemy are badly blooded. They
Yeah,
have
that's a
lost half their
good
men.
bit of news, that. And in the meantime, our hammer guard are just smashing them. One skull at a time. And the longbowmen are getting decimated by our catapults. Hello, Deeping Guard. Welcome to... Let's tell our catapults to find other activities, such as doing nothing, actually. That would be very nice. And immediately they just say, okay, we're not being bombarded anymore. We're going to go close positions. Okay. Fair enough. And we run in, we break the defenders. Ranulf can run no more. Guardians at the ready. Reclaimers, run in with those hammers and give them a whack. Whack, whack, whack. Whack, the hammers go.
Good news. Our men are in control of the
Thank you for the service. You're the best that I know. Anyone else? Oh yeah, this is defender there. And he's gone.
Victory.
Well done, dear banner carrier. Litash has been taken. With relatively few friendly fire casualties, even though we had some close calls. Ah, some guardians there. Ouch, ouch. But our catapults are also very much in line for MVPs on this particular battle. Though the Legion Hammer Guard here have really done a lot, and so has the First Legion, obviously, because they always bloody do. Well, one of the First Legions has, and the other one is a little bit more, a bit less ambitious. But basically, they got no... Didn't get hurt anyway. Not too badly, not beyond recovery at least. Hooray for that! And with that, I think we're ready to tone down the events of Middle-earth for today. Goodbye, Litash.
Victory. Well done, men. A noble victory.
Yeah, we're gonna sack it. I'll take that one out. And that one. And that one. And then we are left with a pretty useful place. We repair the walls. With many apologies. And then make the brewery happen. That'll be good. So what do we... we had a catapult merger. Bugger. Well, we'll get more catapults. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Aye.
No need to worry. We have one here. Yeah. So as soon as we need it, we can just bring it over. We've been awarded with beer and 2,000 coins.
Aye, noble son.
Up to the tower. Get back.
Aye, noble son. Sitting a vigilant watch here. Aye, sire.
Potentially, we can even rock up to Mount Graham next turn. That does seem appealing. Any spies around here just rearing to go? Yeah, we can take one of Killigathol, or Killicool, I suppose. Because it's 79%, so we have all the unit access here that we need.
At your service. Not possible, sire. Yes, sir.
Aye, lord.
So looking at this, it's a lovely place to be. Now Kazad-Dûm can actually trade a bit with Litash. Woohoo! And that's only the beginning. Mount Gundergrand is definitely in for a lot of good times too. Once we get the Hall of Owlay, we'll just start training and training and training people. Life will be lovely. So all of our basic missions have been met with astounding success. We have made landing in the lands formerly known as Gondor,
Dropping anchor until the morrows.
and we shall make further landings to make sure that Tarnost gets into our grip, and then we will put diplomatic pressure on Mordor to cede Ethering to us, which hopefully they will accept at that point, because it will be isolated essentially, and they will have very little choice in the matter.
Quiet as a mouse, sir.
Yes, quiet as a mouse now.
Yes, my king. At your service. They shall not see me, sire. Sire, no further.
But already just taking Dol Amroth provides a nice little bulwark against the forces of Sauron so far. and it makes for a nice little beachhead from where Gordon can deposit, well, Groin and all of his forces. Tardust is the place to be, and I hope you agree, because for now that will indeed be all. Balin has taken Condom, we have made landing down south, and political stirrings are afoot here where Esgaroth seems besieged by elves. Time will only tell which way that war will go. But regardless of which direction, which form this war takes, we will be there to watch it happen, and maybe poke the bear a little bit here and there. So, if you like the sound of that, and if you even want more, then there will be videos on your screen right now. I hope that you will be most kind to yourself, that you will be good to those you love. Click then on another video, and I will see you soon. Hopefully, at least. I'd like to think that I'll see you soon. Why don't we make it now? Either way, catch you later. Bye.